Step out of the history that is holding you back. Step into the new story you are willing to create. Oprah Winfrey. There comes a moment in a woman's life when she looks in the mirror and barely recognizes herself. Not because of the wrinkles, not because of the silver strands in her hair, but because somewhere along the way, she stopped living for herself. She became a mother, a partner, a provider, a caretaker, a peacemaker, a silent warrior. But in doing so, she forgot the sound of her own voice. Welcome to Thrive After 40. This isn't just a story, it's a reclamation of self, of soul, of purpose. Because at 45, she didn't have a midlife crisis. She had a midlife awakening. And once she remembered who she was, nothing could stop her. For years, she moved through life like a ghost, doing what was expected, always giving, rarely receiving, saying yes when her soul screamed no, smiling while silently breaking inside. And every morning, as she poured coffee into everyone else's cup, she left her own empty. There was a time she dreamed of travel, of painting, of writing, of dancing barefoot in the rain, but dreams don't pay bills. And slowly, they faded into silence. Until one day, she couldn't remember what her own joy felt like, or when she last truly laughed for no reason. One ordinary morning, something shifted. Maybe it was the silence that felt too loud. Maybe it was the way the sunlight hit her reflection in the window, and she didn't recognize the woman staring back. Or maybe it was the moment she realized if she didn't choose herself now, no one else would. That day, she didn't scream, she didn't break down, she simply sat still and listened to the small voice inside that had been whispering for years, "You were meant for more than this." And for the first time in decades, she chose to believe it. At first it was subtle. She stopped saying, "I'm fine," when she wasn't. She started walking every morning, not to lose weight, but to feel herself move again. She decluttered her closet, and with it, the layers of who she thought she had to be. Each small act was a rebellion, a quiet revolution. She read books that stirred her soul, journaled truths she'd buried under years of responsibilities, said no, and didn't explain why. The more she let go of what wasn't her, the more she remembered who she truly was. Not just a mother, not just a partner, but a woman with fire, with dreams, with a voice. But the world doesn't clap when you rise. It questions, it resists. "You've changed," they say, as if that were a crime, as if becoming yourself was a betrayal of who they needed you to be. Old habits knock at the door. Old guilt whispers in your ear, "Who do you think you are?" it hisses. This is where most stop, where the fear wins, where comfort seduces you back into the old self. But not her, not anymore. Because once you've tasted the truth of your own power, no amount of comfort will satisfy your soul again. She paused, breathed deeply, and chose herself again. Rebirth isn't loud. It doesn't explode like fireworks. It's quiet. It's a whisper in the bones that says, "This is who I am now." She no longer asks for permission. She no longer waits for applause. She walks differently now, grounded, aware, intentional. Not because the world changed, but because she did. She's not trying to be her younger self again. She's not chasing youth. She's embodying wisdom. She's becoming whole. She's beauty without needing validation. She's strength without needing to dominate. She's freedom without asking for escape. This is what rising looks like after 40. You thought she was someone else, a woman you once admired, a version of you long gone, a fantasy of who you could have been. But look closer. She is you, after the layers, after the noise, after the lies the world sold you. She was never lost, just waiting for you to remember.